Let's talk about the Korean Wori Republican Party candidate, Cho Won-Jin. He spoke about the liberal democratic system highlighting justice and truth at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. He called out the Moon Jae-in regime, which fraudulently impeached and imprisoned President Park Geun-hye. He underscored the truth about Moon's cruelties during luncheons with foreign and White House correspondents in Washington. They asked many questions about Korea-U.S. relations. He also had an exclusive interview with noted White House correspondent Janie Pak. Presidential candidate Cho Won-Jin condemned the abuses of his co-workers in Rodham Hall of the National Assembly after President Park Geun-hye was impeached. Moon's impeachment of President Park Geun-hye is actually an accusation against the entire right wing as it threatens the very existence of liberal democratic order as well as national security, as President Park Geun-hye strengthened the ROK-US alliance and resolutely responded to North Korea's aggression. However, because of her impeachment, an innocent president was imprisoned. Her imprisonment lasted 4 years and 7 months. It led to the precipitous decline and deterioration of her health, and as a result of this disgrace, she is currently being treated in hospital. And this outrageous imprisonment was solely due to the overall political repression and human rights violations of Moon Jae-in's regime. At a press conference in front of the White House, candidate Cho Won-Jin appealed to the President of the United States and democratic-leaning countries throughout the world for the end of South Korea's suppression of free speech, its ban on free assembly, its numerous human rights abuses, and for the immediate release of President Park Geun-hye. Candidate Cho met with U.S. congressional members as well as experts on the Korean Peninsula to discuss U.S. foreign policy and the national security of our respective nations. Americans in this photo called for the impeachment of Moon Jae-in. As you can see, Moon Jae-in is pro-North Korean. Candidate Cho Won-Jin places great importance on strengthening the ROK-US alliance. Candidate Cho Won-Jin spoke of the stark dilemma facing Korea in an exclusive interview with Fox News White House correspondent Kevin Corke. When former President Trump visited South Korea, he gave a speech before the National Assembly. Candidate Cho Won-Jin is committed to strengthening the ROK-US alliance. He had attempted to announce the imminent release of President Park Geun-hye, but was blocked by the Moon administration. Candidate Cho fought the Moon regime's ban for 14 days. He even fasted. His body became weak. He is working tirelessly to tackle the radical actions and corruption of the Korean Federation of Democratic Labor. Regarding the issue of transition of wartime operational control as an issue during the recent ROK-US Defense Ministers meeting, OPCON transfer that hinders security on the Korean Peninsula, and with it party members who opposed the declaration of the end of the war and the peace agreement. The public is informed through press conferences. The acquittal headquarters for President Park Geun-hye received 3 million signatures, and 2.5 million signatures have already been delivered to the Blue House, strengthening the ROK-US alliance for security on the Korean Peninsula. The security of Korea is the security of the United States. People who emphasize the need for USFK and the Taegu-ki and the Stars and Stripes gathered in Seoul. 1,400 organizations and 10 million people gathered to hold a large-scale rally condemning the Moon Jae-in government. Through a fraudulent impeachment, the Moon Jae-in regime is undermining liberal democracy. Here is a billboard that was erected in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., demanding truth, justice, and freedom for President Park Geun-hye, who has suffered political repression and human rights violations. President Park Geun-hye is illicitly imprisoned for almost 5 years on false impeachment charges. Her honor and dignity must be restored. Moon Jae-in has destroyed President Park Geun-hye's good health, and he must be held accountable. It's not over till it's over. Presidential candidate Cho Won-Jin brings courage, honesty, and integrity to his mission. Protecting liberal democracy, strengthening the ROK-US alliance, North Korean, CVID, and the anti-China opposition. Let's pay attention to Korean Republican Woo Ri presidential candidate Cho Won-Jin, an honest and courageous man who will bring all of his resolve to fight for the aspirations of 7.5 million expatriate Koreans throughout the world. Let's do this together.